How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow? Unique New York. Unique New York. The arsonist has oddly shaped feet. The arsonist has oddly shaped feet. I love Le Crocs. Le Crocsy Crocs. Hello, welcome to another episode of Brandish the Outlandish. I'm your host, Brandish the Outlandish, the famously fiendish Swedish family sandwich bandit from San Francisco. And this is our first episode recorded in 2022. So happy New Year, everybody. It started off with a bang already. I mean, December 31st, of course, we all mourn the loss of everybody's favorite grandma. And we're not talking about Maggie Smith. No, Betty White, of course, died at the age of 99. Everyone's been seeing videos and reading articles, but of course she was born in Oak Park, Illinois, moved to Los Angeles at the age of 2, and so she was basically raised in the industry, and what was burgeoning then was two things: radio and television broadcast. And so she took a job early on in the late 30s, as an assistant at a television station, where she worked after high school as well. And then eventually she volunteered during World War II in the Army Reserves and did her part. That's where she actually met her first husband, Dick Barker, who she was married to for just a very brief time, and people were how it was during wartime, but didn't last past that. Betty went back into television. She she did her first thing, everything about Elizabeth in the 60s is when she moved over to more TV game shows, and in the 70s, of course, was eponymous Mary Tyler Moore show. All right. Also did 1980s Golden Girls, which was a huge favorite with the gays and grandmas. It gave grandma something to do when Murder, She Wrote wasn't on. She did her Saturday Night Live gig in 2010 after a Facebook poll, which, if you think about it, would have been in the early stages of its popularity and its mainstream adoption. And so it was pretty funny to see her hosting, and what she says was kind of very foreboding about Facebook and how it's a waste of time. So I'll put a clip in.
So many people to thank for being here, but I really have to thank Facebook. When I first heard about the campaign to get me to host Saturday Night Live, I didn't know what Facebook was. And now that I do know what it is, I have to say, it sounds like a huge waste of time.
It's a huge loss. Betty White, she was just about to celebrate her 100th birthday, which was going to be a big occasion. There was already a magazine publication out. It was supposed to be released, and so of course I think they're going to release it posthumously, or they've already kind of leaked it out. But they're just going to be, tons of tributes in the coming weeks, of course. I mean, it's a huge loss. She was awesome. So there's so much that she's done that I'm not able to, talk about right now because I'm so stoned and I can't think of anything, and I didn't. So you have to excuse me. But huge loss. So shout out and tribute to Betty White and her passing.
If I had a dick, this is where I'd tell you to suck.
Hopefully everyone, though, on a lighter note, is having as good a New Year's as Joe Giudice and his girls. Apparently they were out in the Bahamas celebrating with Dad.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a good time. Me and my girls want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Happy New Year. All right, have a good night.
They were looking stylish. They're all looking great. Okay, Gia, Gabriella, Melania, Adriana. It's crazy. They're all grown up. In fact, Gia just celebrated her 21st birthday. So.
Happy birthday, Gia. Love you.
But they all look good. They look great. In the meantime, from what I can tell, Teresa was in Cabo celebrating with Louis. So I thought it was interesting. Everyone kind of had a tropical New Year. That's awesome. That Teresa was kind of like, all right, you know what better excuse to get away with my man and suck some dick than to, have the girls all go with their father, who they haven't seen because, he was locked up for so long. Because, how can we forget, the fact that he went to jail on bankruptcy fraud charges and then was subsequently deported and moved back to Italy. But luckily for him, he is living in the Bahamas now to be closer to his kid, which is awesome. So it's terrible. The family was ripped apart, but oh my gosh. I don't have to go into it because we had to watch it, and we're going to continue to see how it all unfolds. And that's why it's kind of actually good to see them in this stage and out having fun with Dad, because, he was locked up in that detention center for like 2 years trying to fight and stay. And unfortunately for him, he was there during the Trump presidency years, so it was the worst for customs and immigrations. That had him detained in like a facility that was hours away from them. So, ultimately, it's awesome that these girls are able to see their dad. And hey, Juicy Joe is looking a little lean these days. I think he's like he's like Beyond Meat kind of. There's something to him, but like he's all lean and protein, because he looks good. But he's definitely thinned out a lot. It's nothing new, but it's still hard for me to see and be used to. But, it's still good old Joe.
Cute tail.
Why didn't you come over there?
I gotta tell you, Gia, you're brave going out there. I'm scared. Model. So cute.
You're so much braver than I am, It's like, Joe, they're standing knee deep in water. Like, what are you afraid of doing? Didn't you own a shore house? Come on, man. Like, it just is. It was funny. I get it. It's cute. It's enduring. But I just thought this is kind of funny. Maybe one that's not so as amazing as the Giudices. But in the same Bravo celebrity categories over here, and everybody knows I love to hate him, Andy Cohen, drunk again on CNN's New Year's Eve special with Anderson Cooper. Just a sloppy goddamn mess.
Just got doused with confetti from the face.
Wow.
2022. It's a new year. Because guess what?
All right. And, I can't stand Andy Cohen. I'm telling you, he reminds me of like the creepy gay man at the gym, or at the gay bar, the one that only talks to you in flirting manner and always seems to be there whenever you're like in a compromised position, and always the times that you like are brave enough to go into the sauna naked, and then it's like, shit, but Andy Cohen is drunk with Anderson Cooper and
Advance.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, please. Tell us something, Andy.
is blasting everyone. He's got blasting the New York's now former Mayor de Blasio.
Watching Mayor de Blasio
Oh, don't go on a rant.
do his
Don't go on a rant.
victory lap dance
Don't.
after 4 years of the
This is how you want to
crappiest
start the
term
new year.
as the mayor of New York.
Everybody's other favorite gay, Ryan Seacrest on ABC. He was yelling at their production, something about fake journey and I don't know what, because I don't give a shit about anything he says.
Confetti from the fake journey appearing on ABC. If it's not Steve Perry, it doesn't count. Really? You get it? It's not
That's
journey.
not true.
It's propaganda.
That's not true.
It's propaganda.
Settle
It's not
down.
journey.
I didn't know this, but until I started, watching footage, I didn't realize this. This is actually his second year, a sloppy mess.
Kinder, gentler. Wyatt likes the bossy one.
Right. Oh,
Yeah, he loves the bossy clap.
Oh, bossy.
Very sweet.
The colors are great.
And also, it's just so surreal. Again,
know,
it's like
it's
an
a
acid.
little-
It's what I imagine an acid trip to be
It's
like.
what you imagine. Have
Yes.
you ever done acid?
No,
Really?
no.
Well, it's time. We're doing it tonight.
Oh, please.
Yes, we are.
No.
You're coming over
I
after
don't
the
know.
show. No, you
You're-
are coming over after
Yes,
the show.
I'm coming over for
Okay, we're going to drop
some
it.
food. No, we're
Now-
Things I will remember to forget.
okay.
And it's just so funny because it's like he usually Coke helps you.
We're going to raise our first shot of tequila in honor of Betty White. Cheers.
Cheers.
There you go. Is there anything you've never seen that you're kind of embarrassed to admit?
Sound of Music. I've never seen Sound of
No,
Music.
I may not have seen.
Really?
You can take our gay cards right now.
Yeah.
So I am the big Al. Let's do
Oh
a
my
shot of
God.
tequila.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
sorry. I've been
All right,
holding
so it's
on
top of
to
the hour.
Wow.
That was unnecessary.
Yeah, that was a lot. Oh my God. To get him drunk and make him giggle. Anderson's special spot. Everybody.
So you can kind of see how he's upbeat and how he is really confident. He's really quick, sassy. That is a typical gay on cocaine, and tell that he is no stranger to it. This year, it was interesting. You could tell that he hanging with Lindsay Lohan before skiing down slopes. All right. I read in the comments somewhere that Anderson Cooper even made a comment. Oh, sweetie, something on your nose. It was hilarious. What a drunk mess. He can't read a teleprompter and he can't be live. It's also funny, and now Colbert beat me to this. I loved it. In his stupid ass apology, he's like, "Oh, I was overserved," and I'm thinking, "Oh yeah, you're the one pouring it for yourself. Like, what the fuck? You can't. That's a cheap excuse." But somehow, and with the privilege that he has, which I mean, his whole, in my opinion, career is he must know somebody. I mean, he must have hooked up with someone when he was younger and made some sort of weird name for himself. I don't know what. But ever since he's come onto the scene and been so painful to watch, he's been there and stayed. And it's in a way that it's like most TV hosts would have been replaced at this point, especially because he's not attractive. He's not. He doesn't have anything interesting going on, and you can tell he just got that slime ball factor. You'd think he would have been replaced by now, but for some reason he's had the power to stay. And so it seems that he's worked the same magic with CNN. Said that they're going to bring him back despite reports of the contrary, and what everyone else was hoping, like myself. I was hoping it was going to create this whole new cancel culture on him. But no, I mean, people like him usually have their days, so we'll see. All right. Season 2 with Salt Lake here. Yeah. Wow, what a freaking snoozer. All right, let's catch up on that episode. All right, season 2 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake. Okay. So this latest episode, we got to see Whitney Rose with her skincare line, and they addressed Fuzz so that, we could talk about Mary and her racist comments, the slanted eye one, and then they even threw back to Mexican thug comment, but we'll address that, yeah. So first off, Jen Shaw, though, let's start with her because I think she's the one that's been carrying Salt Lake on her back, basically since season 1 and before all the drama, but especially now. She's become their new Teresa Giudice, someone that's going to be a long-term character because, one, she needs the paycheck and notoriety and all the other side gigs that she'll be able to, drum up because of it to keep her afloat and pay back all the legal fees associated with her new found legal troubles that her and Coach Shaw are going to be facing together. I mean, which is the question. I mean, is Coach Shaw going to stick around? I mean, he seems like he is, but let me tell you, that motherfucker looks like he's been beaten up. All right, and not because of her legal issues, but strictly because of all the stuff that she put him through in season 1. I was really surprised that they made it into season 2 and then this. So I imagine she said a lot of things like how she was going to be a better person and all these to win him over. But this season is literally going to be her having to prove that in the court of law. It's going to be, subsequent years, because they just asked for a $2 million retainer, which is insane. Her mom had to liquidate her entire retirement savings. Hopefully these attorneys are good. She's accused of defrauding senior citizens and like tens of thousands of dollars each, and accumulating a multi-million-dollar scheme. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI, all those people don't get involved unless it's like a rock solid case. I mean, so I will watch with you guys and see what the outcome is. I'm not even going to say whether or not she's innocent. We live in a society where you're innocent until proven guilty, so I'll leave it at that. All right, so that's Jen Shaw. Let's talk about Jen Wynn, or also known as Jenny Wynn. She's a new character, and she's also Asian. All right, which I like that they're bringing diversity. I would think it's really hard to do that in Salt Lake City. She's really cool. She's got that Vietnamese, flair to her, I guess, or however you'll put it. She's definitely got a strong opinion. She's got a really boring chiropractor for a husband. He's with the whole sister wife thing. It's going to be interesting to watch them, see how they, where that goes. He wants something, I think, in more religious lines, fundamental religious, and I think that she's going to realize how hot she is, how boring he is. And maybe, they don't. We'll see. I don't know. I don't like to put any hex or other franchises introduced, and then, their marriages is like joining the show is the kiss of death. Right. Meredith Marks. All right. Meredith. Why is she even on this show? God, yeah, she is interesting. First off, the whole... Her son is a privileged twink, all right? There's no denying that. So I don't know why she wants to cling on to that still. I mean, we're like I don't know how many episodes we are deep. Too many for this to be lingering, all right? Get over it, all right? No one cares, all right? What Jen Shaw may or may not have retweeted. We don't even know who's in control of her social media. All right, she has a bunch of people on her Shaw squad. All right, and even if she did tweet it, it's hilarious. It's true. It's not even offensive necessarily, so just get over it. All right, you're boring. I don't even know why you were cast on here. I don't know what your brand is. I don't know who you market it to. She just has that Fran Drescher look and whole vibe that I don't know. It's not for me. Her sister Lisa Barlow, who's just as boring. All right, her Vita Tequila, which I thought it was the Vita company is like the mezcal. I've seen bottles with it, but it's for mezcal, and it's just not them. But and which is apparently was okay. I have no idea about her tequila company, but let me tell you this: it's not going to be the next skinny girl. Shut up about it. No one cares. All right, you're already getting bad enough press with the fiasco at the bar, and you need to work on branding elsewhere. And don't try and make your whole thing on it. Also, stop trying to whore out your children with this Fresh Wolf stuff. There's about that either. Okay, the kids don't seem to care about it. I don't get any passion or drive from them, in my opinion. And she's just one of those people, which is one of those ironic Mormons. She says she's Mormon 2.0, whatever the fuck that means. She talks about money an awful lot, okay? And just alcohol is her brand and all that stuff. Look, obviously, I don't care. I mean, I'm all for that, But if you're a Mormon, I think it's really ironic. So her character is very confusing to me. It's not that I don't get why she likes all those things. I know why she likes all those things. What I'm confused by is the fact that she thinks that none of us think that it's weird and deceptive of her as a Mormon and to have such exceptions where they benefit you. She's just a person who's religious by convenience, which I don't care what your religion is. It's ridiculous when you when you adhere others to certain standards and then you make sure that everything is conveniently written for yourself. It's this is how you get to the King James XV whatever version of a Bible, when people want to pick and choose. And her poor husband, shit, oh man, that fucker, he looks like he just gets dragged to everything. She makes him watch all these shows before. He's like a Bravo super fan husband, himself, I'm sure, on the side. He knows all the drama because he just is forced to all that stuff with her, which props to him, man. I mean, that's a good husband in the end, but he's just, he's just kind of spineless. She definitely wears the pants and run things, those Barlows. Next up, Heather Gay, and Beauty Lab Laser, the spot for a federal Homeland Department investigation raid or to get a facial. Props to her. I'm glad that we are hearing less about her divorce. She's cool. I like her. Of all the girls, she actually is one of my favorites in regards to she seems the most real. Myself hanging out with her. And I think that, it'll be interesting. I'll bet her daughters are going to turn out cool because she seems like that cool mom, but not not Mean Girls, ridiculous type, but just the legitimately cool mom. We had one in high school, friend Erica's mom, and we literally called her Kool-Aid. And, that's how she gives me those vibes where it's you could just tell her anything, or if you needed a ride, even if it was to work, you could get she'd come pick you up kind of thing. So she's got those vibes. So I like Heather Gay, but she's kind of boring, as well. I mean, all of these women are boring. I don't know how they ever even got a franchise out of Salt Lake City. And that's why I said it. Aside from Jen Shaw carrying on her back, and they knew what they were doing with her. She was the wild card from the beginning. One of the most boring, though, of course, and also the youngest on here is Whitney Rose and her Wild Rose brand, that she keeps trying to hawk. The skincare. I was checking it out online. I mean, you have the skincare set for $200. Now, I'm gay, but I don't know much about skincare. Okay, but I would not buy a skin regimen for $200. That's just me personally. I don't know who she's marketing this to. Not my demographic, so I don't know the quality of it. So I don't want to speak to the quality of her brand. The marketing and the logo actually is cool. It looks cool. I'll give it that. But I have no idea about the quality. And let me tell you, if the way she throws a launch party or speaks to the quality of the actual chemicals and the makeup of everything, I'm a little bit scared because it was a little bit low budge for all this money that she's been plowing in the actual R&D apparently in this, because she's drained her family of their savings, and she's talking about taking out $1 million loans. Woo, girl. I hope this works out. The one thing I'll give her, though, is that she does have a husband that seems to love her. Her husband, Justin, does totally seem into her. He seems like a interesting, enough guy. He's like whatever, a kind of nerdy dude. They seem they're actually in love, and I'm sure there's a daddy aspect when they first got together, and I think that she kind of enjoys the security of it now because her father's drug history, or actual father's, but their relationship actually seems solid to me, in my opinion. I'll give her that, just from what I can assess. So good for her, but she's kind of I don't know. She just doesn't hit it for me. She seems like she should be a character who should more be on Vanderpump Rules rather than Real Housewives. I saved the craziest for last with these girls. Miriam Cosby. Oh my gosh. The first lady of Faith Temple Pentecostal Church in Salt Lake City. What does that even mean? I don't know. she is a total whack job. Apparently, she inherited upon her grandmother's death this church, which is, in my opinion, is like a for-profit charity, and some real estate, as well as apparent chain of restaurants. I don't know. I couldn't find what restaurants when I was skimming that over. I'm sure if I dug deeper on Reddit. But she also inherited her grandfather, or step-grandfather, okay? Her grandmother's husband at the time. So she daddied up. She granddaddied up real quick. And apparently it caused turmoil with her mom, because they don't speak. They haven't spoke for like 20 years since, the mother thought she was supposed to be the one. So, yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, every family has got someone, got some type of fucked up. But, yeah, wow. Whew. That one I didn't see coming out of... I can't say I didn't see coming out of Salt Lake, because the Mormon and the polygamy and all that, I mean, it gets all fucking weird and crazy. But, yeah, I didn't see Mary Cosby coming. Not Mary Cosby as she is. Just with all the, different... she designer labels that she has to wear and awkwardly gift out. And I always think, like, does she go to like the outlets? Are there outlets where they sell that type of shit, and buy that? And when I see all the stuff that's behind her, that's in her room, because I mean, why you can't go to the same store and shop and get all that. That's just expensive, but two, I mean, yeah, I don't know, like, where is she in Salt Lake? What does she go on, like, shop? I don't know. Actually, I don't even know why I'm questioning it, because it's Mary Cosby, and it's possible. I just don't know how it's done. She's ridiculous. Her and her cult church, that is a whole nother episode. I'm going to definitely deep dive into that, because, I mean, I'm sure I could do like a whole mini series on that shit. Oh, and shout out to Cameron Williams, apparently the gentleman who told us this season about how he gave her $300,000 and mortgaged his house. He passed away in June. Apparently it's from tumors. He had brain tumors and several, I don't think it's related at all. I was just like, wow. Only on a Salt Lake's, a Real Housewives storyline could this, continue to fray out and be so ever evolving. Yeah. That's the girls of Salt Lake right now. And again, they're Snooze Lake. They're pretty boring. There's not a whole lot going on. So yeah, we'll see what their reunion looks like, because I don't think there's gonna be anything happening until then that's interesting out of the season. They're squeezing that one. So yeah, that's my wrap up. All right, on everything starting off this year. Again, we want to honor Betty White's passing. Okay, and hopefully everybody's year goes like the Giudice's and not like Mr. Andy Cohen's.
It's full of pot and it's sitting on my desk.
Wait, you have a thing, a pot sitting on your...
I'll keep you posted on everything, though, of course. So please continue to tune in to watch more episodes of Brandish the Outlandish. Hit the like button. I'm sure you're already subscribed. If you're not, because you're one of the few people that aren't related to me by blood or marriage, please hit the subscribe button. All right, I post regularly on dumb things that are happening in the dumb Bravo universe of the world. Okay, so thank you again for watching. Bye.